Hey guys, welcome back to Paracord Planet. With fall coming around, we're going to make use of some autumn colors and make a laced fishtail bracelet. Let's dive in. For this project, we're going to be using 10 feet of Ranger Green paracord, a Army Green buckle, and Goldenrod microcord. This project will be made a lot easier with the use of a Type 1 fid. So start by putting the middle of the paracord down through the buckle, and then putting your buckle through that loop that's formed. And that makes a cow hitch. We're going to go through the steps to this pretty quickly. We've covered the fishtail in other videos, and so we'll link to those in the description if you're having trouble following this one. Find the other ends of your paracord and put them down through the other side of your buckle. And you want to make sure that they aren't twisting around each other or tying themselves in knots, whatever the case may be. At this point, you want to check what size the bracelet is, so go ahead and test it on your own wrist or whoever you're making it for. You can also take a wrist measurement and then just measure from one end of the buckle around to that same place. If you're testing it on the wrist, it's good to just leave a couple fingers underneath because this bracelet is going to get wider, and so it's going to end up being tighter on a wrist. Mark the spot that you'd like it to be, and then carefully take that buckle off the wrist. Now we're going to start the weave. The fishtail is really quite simple. Just put one of your weaving cords off to each side. I'm going to start with weaving my right side cord. Just put it over that first cord and down through the middle. So now that we have both cords on one side, we're going to start the pattern that we're going to be repeating for the rest of the bracelet. Again, make sure that your bracelet is the right size and both your core cords are the same length. Take that top cord, so our first left cord, and bring that over the first center cord and down through the middle. And then we're going to be taking that same cord and bring it back over to the other side. So over the first cord, down through the middle, back to the left. So then when we tighten this down, it's going to look like this. We're just going to keep on doing that pattern down the whole bracelet. So we'll take that top cord, weave it over to the right, back over to the left, and then keep going with the next cord. So one more time, down through the middle, down through the middle, and tighten that one. As you're weaving, make sure that you tighten your knots evenly and then squish your weave together so that your bracelet doesn't end up uneven and loose. Catch you at the end. All right, so there we go. Our bracelet is just about done. We've got a little bit of space left. I've been pushing this up pretty tight as I go. So once I get the cord through there a couple more times, then I can slide it back down to keep it all tight. But at the very end, you can use what's called a fid. We'll put a link to those in the description too for the supplies list for this tutorial. But it's really not necessary if you don't have one. All right, so then when I get both of them back over to one side, just to finish it off, I'm going to put that top cord down through the middle, and then we'll clip them both on the bottom. So again, you can kind of slide it apart, scrunch that weave together to get your cord through. And then once those are through, you can kind of slide it apart again to keep that end part tight. Then go ahead and clip those on the bottom with the scissors. And then we'll melt it down and press it against the bracelet to keep it all flat and nice looking. Now that we're done with the fishtail portion, it's time to begin the weave. This is the part where a FID really comes in handy. We'll be anchoring the cord through the middle of the weave. If you don't have a FID, you can get around the use of one by putting the microcord through the weave as you go, and just anchoring it through the middle before you do all this. If you do have a FID, screw it onto the end of your microcord, and then put it down through the middle of your two core strands on the beginning end of your bracelet. Then you can screw that off, and we'll flatten the end of this cord so that it doesn't pull back through. All right, so now that we've got the end anchored, we can really just wrap it around the bracelet for the rest of this. But we're going to be pulling it down between the weaves. So instead of sitting on top, you want it to fit snugly in between the weaves like that. Just go down one each time. We'll have this nice diagonal pattern all the way down. We'll speed it up a little bit for you. All right, so now when we get to the end, if you don't have a FID, you can basically tuck your cord underneath the end of your last one. So leave one loose, wrap it around, and then on the bottom side, you can just tuck it under your last weave. Maybe you can weave it around twice. Then make sure you pull that first row down where it's supposed to be before tightening down that last one. So then on the bottom we've got this little twist. And we can just cut it off right there and melt a little plastic at the end so that it won't slide through. If you do have the FID, you can, of course, just anchor it like we did at the beginning. And there we go. This is probably the simplest way to stitch a fishtail bracelet. And the colors go nicely, and we are all set for fall. We'll put links to all the supplies used to make this bracelet down in the description. If you enjoyed this video, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.